Next to the stage, we have Miss Terri Smith. I've known Miss Terri for several years, and one of her passions is Vex Robotics. She has been an event planner for 4 years. We just finished the 4th event in Monticello, thanks to Miss Terri. And she also this year became a coach of one of the Monticello teams. She's attended different national conferences for Vex, and she wants to come today and just share a little bit more about what Vex means for our students.
Where is it? Is this it? Okay. I'm gonna wait till it comes up. This is it. Hi, I am Terri Smith from Monticello. I'm going to speak for a little while and we'll tell you something about robotics and then Vex Robotics, but then the most important time is I'm going to devote to our students, a few students that have come with the robotics, and let you hear from them. First of all, REC represents the robotics education curriculum that is funded by Vex. Okay, the rising popularity of Vex Robotics is growing, but let's not just talk Vex, let's talk robotics. How many of you have your students call you over spring break and say, can we have class? Or over Christmas break and say, we're free, can you meet with us? Or even on a weeknight, it gets to be 7, 7:30, and 8, and I'm looking at them and saying, guys, I want to go home. That's what you're looking at when you're looking at your hands-on robotics program. Not just Vex, but there's also First and Best. A lot of ways in which we go with the robotics, you can see in our mission statement, is to increase student interest in STEM. There is a vision with the Vex Robotics competitions that we do, and there is a frenemy approach to the competitions. You are going to be aligned with a team, and you may turn around in the next competition and play against them. But the whole bottom line is to make the world a better place. We want kids to have the educational, but we want to, if you'll notice right in the middle, have a hands-on approach to their learning and to own it. To give you an idea of the pipeline and what it looks like, there is an elementary IQ, which you can see in the back, that's provided by Henderson State STEM Center, in which they have an IQ arena set up. Over here in this area, you will see something called a VRC arena, where you can see the different robot and how it is set up. Middle school has an option. Middle school can either go for the IQ, or they can go for the VRC, whichever they are more comfortable with. There is also a college, Vex U, and currently in Arkansas, they're working on bleeding it down into the industrial. Hopefully Google, Tesla, Amazon, a few names that have been thrown out there. Another rundown of the Vex Robotics program. On the IQ, you can look at the arena and you'll see the pieces are snapped together. When you look at the VRC, it's real interesting. Kelly was talking and she was saying that she had done a workshop and she had handed the metal pieces to the teachers and told them, said, okay, this is what they have to start with. This is kind of the idea. Here's your motor, here's some metal pieces, build something to make your robot do this. Interesting challenge. Now, I'm in southeast Arkansas, and we're not overabundant with money, as are most school districts, nor do we have a lot of industry that we can pull from. So the cost of the robotics is an important factor that schools have to look at. And this gives you a rundown. For example, the registration to register a team, and that's each team, is $150. Equipment per team, and it is reusable, you will collect it, will run you from anywhere from $350 to $1,500. You can look at the breakdowns. Tournaments ran this past year anywhere from $55 to $75 per tournament. The IQ was a little cheaper. The state champion, this was the cost for Arkansas. Regional, this is something new that we're looking at, is Arkansas has grown so much in the robotics competitions that we can no longer say we're having a robotics competition in Vex, because we have so many teams that show up and we're limited with our space. So they're looking now to break it down into a regional competition before you come on to state. The price of the game fields, you can look at the 2 game fields and see where they cost. In May, it's the revealing of the new game. If you look at our VCR, this is our past year's program that we have. We'll have a brand new game this next year in which we're going to be looking at doing visual sensors. They're going to be add to the robot and to the coding the visual part, and they'll be looking for colors. Wonder how cars are going to run down the road autonomously? We might want to think about that. And this will be our middle schoolers that will be developing a program that is based upon colors of objects that will have to pick up or move around certain objects of certain colors, or stay away from certain objects in certain colors and be penalized. All the way to June, where we're getting things together. Scrimmages will start in September. It will go until March, where we have our state and regional champions. And we're representing today Southeast Arkansas because we had 2 teams that actually won state and went on to the Worlds. As their coach was talking from McGee, who saw that coming? But these kids that you're going to meet in just a little bit showed out. They worked diligently, they worked well, they got the job done and impressed everyone. We even brought home I'll let them tell you about it. They even brought home a championship from Worlds, Southeast Arkansas. Go guys, go LA, Lower Arkansas. Okay, this is an example of the team growth. From the IQ, we had in 2017 and 18, we had 59 teams. We doubled. IQ middle school tripled. VRC middle school, not quite doubled, but they're getting there. And high school went from 95 to 108 teams registered in the state of Arkansas. Where are the teams located in the state of Arkansas? This gives you a general idea. You'll see the numbers posted there. How many teams are in this region? The red dots symbolize where the IQ events are, which is your elementary and middle. The VRC, which is your middle and high school teams, show represented there. This is where our tournaments were held this past year. Okay, so let's talk cost again. Let's talk money. All right. So there are many grants that are available out there for teams to apply for or schools to apply for. In these grants, you receive a robot. You usually receive arena, and it does come with stipulations, but it's very reasonable stipulations. You have to build a robot. And to prove that you build a robot, you have to show that you have gone to a competition. So you can look at the type of requirements that go. The good thing about it is, even though the games change each year, you can still use the same parts and pieces year after year after year. This is the number of growth of robotics in not just Arkansas, but across the United States. It is a very quick and fast-growing curriculum because it involves coding, it involves science, it involves technology, it involves engineering and math. This is the big number. These are the number of kids that would not have even considered coding or math or science as a career or STEM as a career. But you can look and see. Once they got involved with robotics, it changed the course of their future, what they're interested in, what they want to do. Last year, of my 5 team members, 3 went on to go into engineering and did well. Even aerospace engineering are doing well in college. This next year, 3 of the seniors that have graduated, 2 are looking at engineering. And I know that those 2 are going to do very well. They're not going to struggle. They're going to be prepared because of all the attributes that go along with the robotics and the coding and the building and the engineering and the technology. This is what they gain through the robotics: teamwork, collaboration, problem solving, management, critical thinking, and here's the big one, communication. That's what made me get interested in robotics in the first place, was listening to 2 students argue over a robot. There was no pushing, there was no aggravating, there was no disrespect. It was 2 students discussing a problem very intensely, but their communication skills was above and beyond what most adults are. Robotics does not even include the building of a robot or the coding. There are many online challenges. I have a young man that is always grabbing his camera for everything that we do, because there's video building, there's networking, there's publicity that needs to be done. STEM, the robotics is doing everything they can to bring in the girl power. I laugh at our group because I call us the Vexy Divas, because we're all women, we all do Vex, and we all work very hard. And I had a picture, but I didn't put it in the PowerPoint, but it's after a Vex Robotics tournament, and we're all sitting there totally collapsed, and I think one of my counterparts had put the caption with the picture, "We can even do this with our eyes closed." The truth of the matter is, we were that tired, and yes, you will be that tired, but you will be that fulfilled too. Because 2 of my favorite quotes that I love to use came from students, not anybody famous, just students. And one of them goes, "I never lose." And I asked him, I said, "What do you mean you never lose in these competitions?" And his comment was, "I never lose. I either win or I learn." Straight to the point. Loved it. Last year in one of my Vex competitions that we were doing, I was running around like my head was cut off trying to problem solve, and there was a young man that was standing there with tears in his eyes. So I stopped and I said, "Are you okay?" And his comment was, "No one has ever cheered my name so loud before, ever." He was so happy that he didn't care if he won or lose. Somebody was sitting there cheering and saying his name. These are quotes from kids, and I love it. So, what are some of the things offered through the Girl Power? There's online challenges, there's classrooms for your materials during class, for after school. There's guides, there are YouTube videos. You're not left out there on your own to go, good luck. No, there's a little bit of guide you can follow and go through and get what you need. Because look here, if a 60-year-old woman can learn how to do this, and I am not the brightest little light on the Christmas tree, anybody can learn to do this. There are scholarships. One of our speakers at the World Championship was from Google, a former Vex Robotics student. I know I have received emails from Tesla wondering, do I have any prospective students that might be interested in this area? The companies are out there looking. I want to thank you, and I have spoken, but better yet, I want you to hear from the real Vex Robotics. So, guys, can you come up and speak real quickly to your experience?
So, my name is Daniel Ferguson. I just recently graduated from Monticello High School, and this was my third year doing Vex Robotics. From what I've seen so far throughout my career as an engineer, I've seen that the teams that we've competed with, Connor has seen them as well, we aren't teams like how basketball teams or football teams, especially around Monticello, our football team was kind of iffy at best, but our robotics team did really well. We are not a team, we're a family. All 5 of the members from my team, we've hung out at each other's houses, we've gone camping, we've done all types of things outside of robotics. Robotics hasn't just impacted our school life, it's also impacted our personal lives. I've made friends, and probably I can go ahead and say most of these guys on the team are like my brothers. I don't think that there was anything else I really wanted to touch on. Oh wait, yes there is. Okay, so I wasn't prepared for any of this. Kind of just threw the microphone at me, but this year especially, we didn't have a whole lot of support from our school or the district. Our main support came from Ms. Smith. We started this year in my living room, and then we moved into a janitor's closet, and after our first win, Ms. Smith helped get us a classroom so we could have the space we needed to further develop our robot. And if it hadn't been for Ms. Smith, we wouldn't have made it to Worlds, made it to state, won more than 1 or 2 tournaments this year. Ms. Smith honestly has helped us become engineers. She's helped me realize that I want to be an engineer, and this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. So, you guys have anything to say? Or, here you go. Step up there. It's okay.
So this year was us 3, it was our first year in robotics, and before robotics, I didn't know how to build anything. I could barely use a screwdriver, and at the end of the year, I was a lead builder, and Vanessa, could you build anything? We also made it to Worlds, and we won an award, so that was good.
So before the year, I had always wanted to code as a career and just work with computers. And I never really had the chance to, coming from the small town with not really any technology. When Ms. Reynolds came from Star City and brought Vex Robotics to McGee, it gave me a chance to break out into the field that I've always wanted to go in, which is driving and coding. We won tournament champion one time in Drew Central, and we made it to national, state, and worlds. with coding being a big part of it, we would stay till 9 sometimes, working around. We went during spring break, through weekends, during Easter, just to go work on the robot, code, drive, build whatever we needed to do. And there were some mistakes along the way, but we plan on learning from that eventually. So.
So I've never been the best at any type of machinery or electronic stuff or anything like that. I've been pretty horrible at it. And I'm still really bad at it, but that's not the point. Throughout my entire experience, I have learned a bit about, electronics and how to build stuff and use tools, because I wasn't able to do that before. But this whole experience has been more funny to me personally than anything else, because our entire school's robotics teams were just made up of complete goofballs and people who had the common sense of a raisin. So that was a blast. A lot of them didn't know how to do anything without screaming, so that was fun. That was pretty cool. I wore a hat with lots of colors and walked around worlds with a ukulele, so that was fun. It's been an experience. It's been a ride.
Thank you, guys. Just to let you know, these are 2 different schools, and sometimes it's not just the bonding. I love how Daniel referred to it as you become a family. And you have extended family. This is a junior high and high school group, but they talk often and they make each other better. And that is the beauty of this. You learn from each other, you learn independently, you learn how to cooperate and get along. It's an amazing program, and I will continue to do this. Thank you, guys. Note, they gave up a summer day to come tell you guys about this. That's how, they could easily be sitting out in the sun or on the beach, but they wanted to tell you guys.
Thank you. Let's give them another hand. Thank you, Miss Terry. So we've got 5 of y'all, is that correct? So what would you expect? We have 6 circuit playgrounds. So y'all have a circuit playground yet? Or a circuit, Adafruit circuit? Adafruit kit. So thank y'all. I think students that come and, as she said, give up a summer day to come to a teachers conference, they deserve a door prize. So not much, but I appreciate it.